Hey Cancer, welcome to your November reading. You are the second sign, interesting, that I'm reading for today. You're very similar to Scorpio. It's Scorpio season, so I figured I'd start with the sign that comes up. The birthday, whatever. The energies that we're in. Sorry, I can't get my words out. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so I'm using the Goddess, Gods and Guardian Oracle for the keywords at the top, and then I'm using Archangel Michael cards for the main deck. So I have been drawn to Archangel Michael this month, so I figured there's a reason for that. And it seems like the reason being, there's two cards in that position, is that we're all protected during this time. So anything that you're going through, I kind of want Archangel Michael to kind of comfort you, to kind of offer you his message of comfort, is saying, hey, I'm protecting you during this time. Let's get working on whatever it is that we need to work on during this time, you know? It is definitely Scorpio season where shadow work seems very predominant right now. Of this kind of, I feel like it's like cleaning up a chalkboard. It's kind of erasing things that just no longer serve in our life, and I feel like that's what we've been doing this whole entire year, is working towards this moment. And the closer and closer to the end of the year we get, the kind of stronger pull to actually just get the freaking band-aid ripped off and let's get moving. This is what it feels like. It's like anything that you've been lingering on is kind of coming to that head now. And when I say that though, it's not like the energy of like, whoa. And I feel like Mercury in retrograde had these moments where it did that for me. Despite my readings for Mercury in retrograde not being too much, I feel like it's still the little things it impacts us dramatically at this moment, because it's kind of like these little pockets of epiphany is where we're like, why am I still doing that? Why am I treating people the way that I always have when it hasn't, all that's done is hindered that, you know what I mean? Little kind of epiphanies, those moments. We've been getting a lot of them. I think that's, you know, the way it's supposed to be right now, is we're really drawn to kind of be pushed towards freedom, towards something that makes us as individuals feel more relevant in our own story, because you are the story. And it's kind of coming to that realization. Anyway, starting you off, you're in a time of healing. Again, with the working with our shadows, that's why I was touching on that, because this indicates that there is a great wisdom right now, and it's a healing moment. This is a great transformative energy. It indicates again exactly what I've just been saying, that we're going through something that needs to be kind of cleaned from the bottom up. And I keep saying that for me from the start. I don't know if you've had a personal reading with me. It's been a very long time since I've done personal readings properly, because I've been focusing on my little 2-year-old. But so if you have had readings with me, but you'll see that how I act and things that I say, it's very relevant. And it's for you, I'm getting this whole sense of cleaning something up. Shift it, get rid of it, push that energy, cleanse and sage that house, get rid of those toxic people, let go of them once and for all. Now, at Cancer, I do apologize for saying this, but you have this habit of just really not truly letting go. You can be, in many ways, depends on your, obviously, your birth chart and who you are as a person. You can be chop, 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 snip, snip. But then you hold on to a part, like a fragment that you've snipped off, so that they still have opportunities to kind of pop in on your life, or will you still care for them to a level? And it's kind of like, yeah, I got rid of you. And I can relate to this. I have Cancer rising, which is probably why I can. It's where, like, I do the same. Anybody that I have got rid of in my life, I still care for them. So if they came back to me with apologies and words, I'd be like, okay, thank you. We needed that. Now, I am a Taurus and I have other things in mind, so I never truly let anyone back in. I mean, Taurus, we don't let anyone back in if you freaking ruin it. But I do still care for them on a level. Like my ex has treated me like absolute poop, but I still care for him on a level where even when he still continues to do that, it gets to me to a degree. It's getting better because, you know, it's been longer and all that kind of jazz. But what I'm saying here, Cancer, is that's typically something that I do feel is a Cancerian trait. And I get this. I feel like this is the time to sweep up and clean out those cobwebs and them little things you've caught in that web, and make sure that you are changing that. Okay, your first card is reversed, and your whole column in this is reversed. It's saying pay attention to this. This situation is already resolved. I do get the sense of something that is healing within you. It's something that has been, something you've been letting go for some time. And so you are in a much stronger place. It is already resolved, but again, there's lingering fragments of this that even you might say, because this is what I'm feeling, you might be like, no, I got over that. I'm done with that. It's done. I would say have a look at that to make sure. Obviously, you know yourself and what you've been through, but this here is telling me, you know, it is done and over and done with now. So allow yourself to be free of it. Don't hold on to little tiny things. If you do practice any kind of craft or have any religious kind of things that you do on letting go, I would say this is a great time to actually do that with the greatest of intention. We are in eclipse season, which means what we put in with that kind of energy, it really is magnified, and make sure you are on point with exactly what you want. I want to be cleansed, cleared of this energy, let's get rid of it. Done, power, done. We're in our own space. And that's how I feel for you, Cancer. I feel like this is time. Make it happen. I do feel like I've asked you to let go of this before, and I feel like to me that's channeling through me as though we've said it. We're going through it. Let's make it happen. Honor and trust yourself and your feelings. Intuitively, Cancer, you are very intuitive beings, so you know what I'm talking about, and you probably already know the second I said that you're holding on to little things. You knew what I was talking about, what I meant, what that means for you, and then you may have gone on to a process of second guessing how you're feeling and second guessing your intuition, and the doubts creep in. So saying don't do that. Honor and trust and respect yourself, because you've always, and you know, you've been right about these gut feelings. You've been right about these people, and yet you still allow the little darkness to take over that. I feel like this is the whole point. I'm getting you to clean that whiteboard. Scrub it off. We want it to see white, clear, ready to begin a whole new story, because it feels like a whole new way of being. And that's all we're accepting. Okay. I don't say these names of these gods and things properly, so I apologize for that now. This is Namatona, is how I'm saying it. Safe space. So again, this is another card that indicates that you are protected. Scorpio had these two cards and also your final one at the top. So I feel like water signs having the same messages tends to happen. Safe space. This means you're protected, but also, if you'll notice, she is among nature. This is a time of reflection and taking time to yourself. This to me is indicating kind of what you desire. I feel like you need to get out of your own head to really truly understand what it is you desire, because maybe you think you want a lot. You think that maybe you think you're too much as well, as I said that. And this is what's kind of keeping you in a space where you're not able to get exactly what you desire. Now we're in a very powerful time where we are manifesting what we desire and what we want at a very fast pace. I do feel like within myself that can bring forward a lot of confusion, because you know it, but then it's like, to what extent? But then this is there, and it's just confusion. It's too much too fast. So it gets us in that space where we have to figure this out. How do we do that? We sit down, we take a deep breath. Nothing is going to change in an hour, in a couple of days, where you take that time to yourself. If you don't come to a decision, it's not going to change. So don't worry about it. You've got as much time as you give yourself, right? Romance angels are helping you. I got this sense of this being with love. Actually, I was about to head towards that with the space of going within with your desires. I feel like this aspiration of some kind of romanticness. So if you are single, I feel like you're craving the ideal perfect relationship. You're dealing like, the one, the long-term one. There's something more solid that you've been grasping on for a while, but it's just never happened for you. It's never worked. And again, this comes with this first of letting go of something, because if you are holding on to fragments of anything else that comes in doesn't get to take up that full space. So let's say our heart is a thing. It is, but I'm just going to do a visual for you. So if you have something in there taking part of your heart and someone new comes in, this could be where the good stuff's at. They get the whole you, the healed you, the version of them where they get to fully feel your full extent of what you can have to offer in terms of romance and love. But if someone else is in there just a little tiny bit, whether it just be something you once wanted, if that's still something you hold on, that if that person didn't do this, I would want that. Or this relationship's never going to be what that could have been. You're stopping any potential. So I feel like this is saying take that time to heal and take this moment to come to these realizations. You're going to get over it really quickly. You've been working on it for such a long time that it really will not take a whole lot to get to that space, but it comes with you realizing things and coming to this and making sure you're doing that work. And next you had 2 cards in this position. Prayer will help you with the situation and admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. That's what I just said. So, they admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. Again, you have to come to these realizations and you have to act on it. You have to be the one to do it. This is typically in like a more future place. So this is saying to get to that future, to get the romance angels, the romance that you desire. Again, prayer will help you with the situation. This really comes with meditating, taking time to yourself, figuring out what it is you want, and then do the work, the spiritual work that gets you there. And the spiritual work can literally be writing what it is you gotta let go of, screwing up, setting it on fire and say, fuck off, thank you, done. I am grateful for all that you gave me and I'm letting you go. That's very fucking spiritual. Saying fuck off is too. Just saying. Okay, this is reverse, so again I would say pay attention. It's typically what I use for my cards. I can't say her name. Amaterasu. No more hiding. No more hiding. This is time for you to come into yourself and go for what you want. No more playing small. I'm just going to pause you a second because my son's shouting at me. I'm going to have to stick your video together. I don't like recording in 2 parts, but as a single mum, you got to work with what you got. Yeah, this is your time to really kind of come into yourself and go for what you desire. And this is a universal energy that we're all going through as well. So I expect to see that here anyway. The energy is driving us to kind of come into a space where we stop settling for less. And this is what I feel with you. I do feel like by saying goodbye to what's kept you, I'm going to say in a closet, in a cave, it feels like you've been kept from your full potential. It's about letting go. It is about no more hiding and going for what you want. As I say that, you know, being in the closet and no more hiding, this could be the time for you to say, it's time to be your authentic self, no matter what anybody else thinks, because who really cares? And actually this is something for myself, touching on that one. I stop myself from doing certain things, and many of us do, where it might have connotations from other people. Like, oh, this person that would kind of inadvertently affect this person. Like, not in a bad way as such, but I would take on their consideration over myself. Like, not even putting myself first. Now, when we realize that, hang on, we are the most important person to our story. Obviously other people are going to matter in our lives, we've got children, things like that, but we are the person we're born with. We are the person that goes through all of that shit that we go through. We are that person that is there by our side. If we could literally separate our thought process to the body that's living it, we would be like, wow, like you've been through so much, and we'd have compassion and that for what you've been through because you could relate to yourself. This is what you need to realize. It's like, be kind to yourself. Put yourself first. And like what I'm realizing as well is, like when I'm thinking, oh, if I do that, this person might say that or do that. It's like, do I actually care what they do or what they say? And I'm in a place in my life now for myself where no, I don't care. The only people I care about who actually think of me, what they think of me, to the fullest extent is my children. So I'm just going to do the best for them. I'm going to do the best for myself and do what we need to do to make sure that we are happy, healthy, enjoying each other's company. And that's what matters. And I feel like so many of us need to hear that, especially if you're a parent or if you're going through something that you've always just put other people first. As a Cancer, you are quite emotional. And like I said, I have Cancer rising and I am a very emotional person, especially when it comes to feelings, because my Taurus self makes me suppress my feelings. My Cancer self and my Taurus and my Aries makes me feel a whole lot of stuff, right? So I cry because I've been pent up with all this stuff. And it's sad, and it's a feeling, and you're an emotional being, Cancer. That is really beautiful because you feel things in such a way that it shows, it comes across in your interactions. And I think like that's the whole point. Stop caring what other people think because you're amazing just as you are. No more hiding that. Be who you are, be who you want to be, go where you want to go. Energy healing work. There is something with this, with the no more hiding, that's I feel like going to bring you to a whole new level of healing for yourself. And I get this sense of showing up for yourself with everything that I just said. Like showing up for yourself is going to be super, super healing for you. With that, this card can also mean to get energy work. So whatever kind of energy work that works for you, meditation, going to a healer, having a massage, taking time out to yourself, actually medical help as well, because sometimes we need to check in on our bodily functioning to really understand ourselves deeper as well. When spiritual and modern medicine come together, that's when the magic happens, because they both are combined really. It's just the way society's gone, it's kind of separated everything that we exist within, which sucks. So again, with that, I feel like some of you it could be beneficial to make sure you kind of see how your body's functioning. Keep that in mind for yourself if you feel intuitive that could be a thing that would be beneficial for you. Detach from a situation. So this is coming forward. This, again, as I'm reading this and I'm babbling on with my analogies and things, like I'm doing that this month where I'm actually just saying what I need to say to you. So I feel like I have already said this when I was saying about how we can treat ourselves. It's about detaching from what we're going through and seeing things from a really kind of clearest perspective, seeing ourselves as human, and that really just feels like what this needs to be for you during this time, especially with that, again, safe space. It's realizing that you are in a safe space to be vulnerable, you are protected. We have Archangel Michael, again, he's there protecting you through this as well, which actually he shows up here. Ask him for help, but I'll get to that when we get to that. So yeah, feel what you need to feel and see yourself as because I feel like if you were to help someone else going through, and I feel like I can relate to this as well, if you were to help someone else going through exactly what you're going through, you kind of know how to guide them through that, or what you would say. So treat yourself like that. Treat yourself like your best friend, like your child, like the most kind of precious thing, because that's exactly what you are, whether you realize that or not. Because without you, there's no you. Okay, the next one's Artemis, I think. Brave Spirit. It really sucks that I'm rubbish with names. I really am very terrible at remembering names too. But I always remember a face, just not names. Okay, so this one gives me this very personal kind of feel of being like you are the one that's in charge during this time. You are brave, you are wild, and this comes with this realization of everything that we've just said over here is where we're going next. And this is you bravely soaring through. It's knowing that you have all the tools that you need. You have loyal supporters as well, I feel. And I feel like that as well can indicate as though this was like a spirit guide to you, being kind of an essence of you, being the loyal soldier, the one that can help you wisely come through this. I get wisdom a lot in this image for you. We had this as well for Scorpio, but it did feel slightly different because I'm really getting kind of loyalty and kind of it feels like a force of like a great support here with you, which is awesome. So it does feel as though this could be quite a difficult thing emotionally for you. We have in reverse, ask Archangel Michael. So ask Archangel Michael to help you with this situation. I literally just did this a few nights ago. I got very emotional 2 days ago, I think it was. I won't go into details with all the stuff I'm going through or anything, but I got really, really emotional, and I realized like I was just feeling so alone in like every possible way. So I just called on Archangel Michael, like, please, Archangel Michael, hear me, which is probably actually why I was drawn. I was drawn to these a few days before that. I pulled them aside and I hadn't used them yet. Oh, jeez. And yeah, I just called upon it and saying, please protect me and my kids, make sure that we're safe, etc., etc. And I feel like this is a moment where you may get to that spot. So you may be crying, you may feel despair, you may feel like this is like enough of this fucking world. Apologies for my language if you are someone that doesn't see foul language as a spiritual freaking tool that's powerful as fudge. But like, yeah, you may feel like that, but you got this. Like, everything indicates on this that you are protected, that you are your biggest key, and by letting go and moving forward, you are going to other things. You have yet another card, so I do feel like I need to really specify to you that you are guided and protected. Your children's are protected for sure. You've got that in here. Romance angels can also indicate that family areas are protected, and that the angels are coming through here saying, we're on it. We're supporting you. We're guiding you. Well, for some reason, I don't know how this is relevant, but I had this experience when I was a teenager. I have talked about it before, I think, in like an essay type thing. Basically, I got jumped when I was like 19, walking home all by myself, which was probably silly, but you know, it was just a few blocks. Anyway, I got jumped, and it was a really weird situation for me, like in regards to, I feel, with guardian angels, because little things like my shadow doubled on the side. I was walking with my head down, headphones in. I know. Anyway, as a woman, I know better now, but we have to go through these things, don't we? Anyway, walking, shadow doubles, and so I see mine, and it's this one right next to it behind it. Like, literally, I don't know, probably milliseconds, but it feels like 30 seconds, and because everything slowed down. I got grabbed and bear hugged. So in that moment, I'm thinking, like, oh, my friend, who's grabbing me? Because that's what kids do at that age. You teenagers, you grab each other from behind and go, like, hi, how's it going? Anyway, little things like that were little signs that happened to me before. Because when I went back with the police later, after I'd been jumped, the shadow, where the lights are, my shadow went onto the road. There's no way that my shadow would ever have gone onto the ways that I saw it, because the street lights are set position where my shadow would be on the road, right? So little things like that. But also, like, I was being beat up, like, it's like I was probably going to be raped, but however, turns out I can take a punch, and I didn't ever get knocked out, and I was kicking him in the balls, and I was kicking him in the face, and he was just punching me, and I just didn't give up, and I was wearing the tightest skinny jeans, because I was, like, total scene emo kid, so there's no way that it was happening, and he basically, like, he stood back and just looked at me, like, random, like, he's punch, and then stepped back, like, it's so bizarre for me, looked down at me, and just walked away. And then I just grabbed my stuff, ran, my shoe come off, I picked my shoe up for some reason, and legged it back to my house, because I was literally, like, round the corner from my house. But it was so weird, like, how it happened, like, he stopped and stood and looked at me, and it was like something happened in that moment where I was protected. To this level of protection, like, I feel for you, these little signs and that are there in your life that you are protected. So even if you have to endure something that's painful to you, and no one's getting jumped. I mean, I'm not saying that because I don't have that authority. We're doing an overall reading here, and everyone has different life journeys for whatever reason. Hope that all of you are safe. But what I'm saying is you are protected, that no serious harm will come to you, is what I truly feel for the youth that are watching this. And I want you to have faith in that no matter what you're going through, it's not going to be bad for you. I have full confidence in saying that. The cards are saying it. My angels, my guides are telling me to tell you that. Trust in the process. Feel what you need to feel, because it's not as bad as you are kind of creating it to be. And I do get the sense of protection of you holding on to something for a reason, because you don't want to go through what that means for you. Perhaps letting go means accepting something that you don't want to accept as well. And again, I know that sounds very trivial compared to, getting beat up by a grown-ass man and nearly raped. Sorry, that was quite somber. And I feel like perhaps that seeing that for yourself is like feeling emotions. It does sometimes give you that level of heartache and grief And I can be completely understand that from what I personally have gone through alone this year, through my own personal stuff I've been going through. But it wasn't to that level of my life being at risk. It felt like it. Emotions feel like that. So allow yourself, care for yourself, be vulnerable with that. It's okay. I hope that makes sense to you. I hope you like my little stories. I do feel like they're relevant, which is why I say what I say, and it's how I guide and help people. So yeah, hope that wasn't too long for you. But thank you so much. Actually, I feel like, oh no, because it's cut in 2 parts, isn't it? As I say, it's 13 minutes. What? Okay, anyway, thank you guys. I'll see you next month. It's Christmas. I love Christmas. And yeah, thank you for being here. Please comment below if you have any questions, absolutely anything, or give me some insight into how this can affect you. I hope you are doing well, and sincerely, truly, I'm your supporter, and I hope you're feeling much better after you do a little bit of soul searching, because I feel that's in there for you, Cancer. Thank you guys.